Hey guys, my name is Barbara Baumgartner. I'm a relationship and sex coach, a certified hypnotist, international keynote speaker at the world's biggest hypnosis conferences, and I used to be a professional dominatrix for 9 years. When I was single, I always tried to find a boyfriend, so also in my private life I have much experience with love, sex, dating, and I also studied psychology. Today I want to talk about cuckolding, about my personal experiences and tips for you. I'm 40 now, and around 9 years ago I had met a guy and he was so hot and I totally fell in love with him. And one day he came to me and I said, "Oh, nice ring." And it came out that he was engaged. And my heart broke. And in that constellation and that age back then, I was submissive. I was dominatrix already, but in my private life I was only submissive. Not anymore, not anymore. And I looked at him and I said, "You know what? You don't deserve to fuck me again. You deserve just to watch me." And he said, "Yeah, Barbara, you're right." And the first time that I developed a cuckolding fantasy was out of pain in a situation that I was just shook and devastated. And he felt the same. He felt guilty, and he regretted having hurt me. And for, I think, like 2 years or so, we were writing about that. We did not meet again. Okay, only once or twice, but after that, we did not meet again. But we wrote much about cuckolding fantasies and what we wanted to do. I was the one that wanted to meet him again, but he did not. By the way, he has been divorced now for a long time, so it was not a good start to his marriage. Yeah, cheating on his fiance all the time with me, but I did not know about her, so it wasn't my fault. And we wrote, and by writing we could develop, our fantasies and living everything in a certain way of reality. Fantasies always, I also offer erotic hypnosis. Fantasies are also a kind of being realistic. Because it gives you feelings, you feel, when I get wet or really like aroused in my whole body, of course this is real and not just a fantasy. But yeah, anyway, we talked about it, we wrote about it, and then I had a boyfriend. And so a very short time after this thing with him broke up, and I said to him, "You know what, there's the thing I want to try. I want to do cuckolding." And he was very cool and very curious. He said, "Okay, just organize a guy and we will do it." The problem was, he was not a cuckold. So for him, this was just cheating. And then he broke up with me. And still I was writing with this other guy. And then I met a man that I had a friendship with benefits with. He was very young, I was 11 years older, but I know he liked me because cuckolding has to be with feelings. You cannot do it just with a sex partner. So it was important that we liked each other. I knew he really liked me, but I was too old for him to have a relationship with me. So there was a certain thing between us, but not a real relationship. And then we talked about what we wanted to do, and I told him about my cuckolding fantasies, and he said, "Wow, that sounds great, I want to try this." And we did it with his roommate first. And I remember the first cuckolding experience where the man was also into it, and it was so hot because he was standing at the window and I had sex with this guy and I looked into his eyes and I felt that having somebody in you is not the definition of being close to somebody. He was standing maybe like 3 meters away, and I felt connected to him, another man in me, and this was honestly a feeling that I'm still thankful for, because I know that being close physically is not as close as being close psychologically or emotionally, or just by looking into each other's eyes. Then we did this again with another friend of his, and in a certain version I met a guy alone. So yeah, I had this was, by the way, the end of my fuck phase. So I had this phase whenever I had a heartache, I had much sex, but then I said, okay, no, I will not have sex anymore when I'm not in love and the guy's not in love with me. But in 17, it was definitely the last time that I did something without a real connection, a real, yeah, love situation. And yeah, and he had this friend, and he was so cute. He was 18, I was 32, and he was so cute. He's not anymore. I saw a photo on Facebook, and I said, okay, I want to have sex with this guy. So he gave me his number, and we met alone, and we also had sex. And this was also kind of cuckolding, even though he was not there, but it was his best friend. And so yeah, it was with this guy. It was actually really funny. I always called it call a fuck, you know, so because he was not delivering pizza but delivering guys to me. And with him it wasn't a very protected situation, because I knew it was his friends and they were nice guys, and it was not like, you know, not a shady situation, just nice young people, and I would never do it again. But back then it was okay. So yeah, I had 2 cuckolding threesomes with him, and one time or 2 times I had sex with this other friend of his, and of course he knew it, and I wrote him, hey, he was there and we did this and this. So it was also, I would say it's also cuckolding, you know, when somebody likes you and he knows you have sex with somebody else. And the funny thing is that before that I hated cuckolding, and even now I'm not a fan anymore. And the reason is that when I did cuckolding, I could feel loved, because only when the man likes you, he is jealous, and only then he can become aroused. If the guy's not into you, it's not cuckolding, you know, it doesn't turn him on. And by having sex with these other guys, I realized that he liked me, because without liking me, he could not have been, you know, emotional and aroused by the situation. So doing cuckolding for me was a proof that a certain person liked me. And I realized with my boyfriend that I have now that I never ever had the wish to do that, because I do not really feel loved so much by him, to be honest. But I still don't have the desire, because I know we are a team, we are connected, we do not need his jealousy to prove that, you know. And I know that the concept of cuckolding is you love somebody, and this is why you are aroused, because there is this jealousy and this pain, of course. It's a kind of pain, it's a kind of BDSM play, actually. I can hit somebody and he has a physical pain, or by doing cuckolding, it's an emotional pain, of course. So pain is very crucial when it comes to cuckolding. And before I realized that, it's a very nice way, also without pain, in a good, stable relationship, to do this and to have fun. Of course, please always be aware of all the diseases that you can have. There's so much, the HPV virus things. I don't know if you call it the same in English. It's HPV in German. It can cause cancer. It's very, very dangerous. Also syphilis, and I don't know if you say the same words, to be honest. I never talk about that in English. So we say tripa, gonorrhea, is it the same? I don't know. Just Google all the diseases, because in the States, by the way, 10 times as many babies are born having syphilis already, because the parents have it. 10 times as much as 10 years ago. This is 1000% more. So even babies are born with syphilis because the parents have it. So please always be careful if you do cuckolding, or if you cheat, or if you open the relationship. There's so much that you can have. Hepatitis, of course, as well, and not only HIV. So anyway, yeah. And before I started understanding that there's so many emotions and so much that you can do by cuckolding, so much that you can feel, I was really disgusted by that. And this is why I really beg of you, when you talk to your spouse, to your girlfriend, to your partner, do not overwhelm her. Do not say, hey, I want you to fuck with somebody, or you know what, that's horny. No, the problem is, women, we produce the bonding hormone oxytocin, and we do not want to have other people inside us. We're happy when we find one. It's so hard to find one partner that we like and that likes us and it looks good. So it's just not our dream to have many men inside us. So it has to be clear for your partner that this is a very special thing between you and her, And it is so hard to make her understand what you feel, especially when you consider that men are not so good with words and language like as women are, and that's scientifically proven, that not just something that I say. We have different centers in the brain, and men are not as good as women when it comes to words and talking about emotions. So what I always say usually is, I even say that in my German channel, before you talk to your partner, it's always good to have a consultation with me. And I do not say that to earn more money. The reason is, I know that men usually overwhelm the woman or say it in a way that the woman is disgusted by. And I'm not kidding, I had so many men talking to me first, and I was really accompanying them all the way. So before the first conversation, after the first conversation, then I started talking to the wife sometimes, and sometimes I proofread their messages when they said, hey, we want to write to this guy, we saw a guy online, is it okay to write it like this? I was like, yeah, you can send it like this, it's okay. So we were really working together, making this couple have their first experience. And it was so cool to do that. And it's a way, it's a process, you know. It's not like, hey, let's do it, okay, tomorrow we do it. Usually it's a way, and you start by talking, by just opening this part of you up to your partner, saying, hey, there's something inside me that I want to talk about. And then you can talk about that in a like normal way, sitting on the table, and then maybe in bed, or maybe you can start by writing with man. Your partner can write with man, and you just watch her doing this. Then maybe you just meet a guy and you have a dinner with him, and you're just talking about sex, talking about things that you might do together. So this is a long way if you want that. And it's really important, because if you just do it right away, then it can be too fast, and it can be too much. And there is a chance, of course, that you are the one that says, oh, okay, I can't handle that, I just saw my partner having sex with somebody, and then you might break up. And that's, of course, unfair. So if you do it very, very slowly, by, how I said, talking to her in a normal situation, talking to her in bed, writing with man, and so on, going very slowly, you always have the chance to say, no, okay, that's enough. And you can enjoy the steps together, and the maybe cuckolding light situation, and not the real deal, how I say it. And if you talk to her, it's very, very important to tell her, if you do not want to talk to me first, this is a channel tip, tell her about your emotions, but do not use sexual expressions. Just tell her how much you love her, and that you feel so proud when you imagine somebody else wants her, and that somebody else comes because she is so hot. And yeah, tell her, and give her all the time, give her the feeling that you really love her, admire her, find her very beautiful, and this is the reason. And also, please let her know that you're not offering this because you want to have sex with other women as well. Because some women think that the man is offering this so that he can say, okay, I allowed you to fuck others, now you have to allow me as well. So make her clear that you really want to share her, but you do not want to have other women in your life. And it's very important to understand how your partner thinks. Is she a person being very open to sex, or maybe not so much experience in the past, or does she masturbate at all? You know, is sex important for her? Is she very open? Can she speak very openly? And if you want to book a consultation with me where we can talk about her and I give you tips, it's always important to tell me about her, and I analyze her as a person, and I can give you customized tips. But yeah, I also gave you some tips so far, because I do not want this video to be just an ad for my service. But please do not dive in with like, hey, you know what, I want you to be fucked by another guy, because this might end definitely in a separation or in a divorce. I once broke up because somebody said something like this to me, and I did not understand what it was about. So cuckolding can definitely lead to the end of a relationship if you say it the wrong way. This is a very, very dangerous subject, because we feel thrown away when a man that we love says, you can be fucked by somebody else, I don't mind. You know, if we have the feeling that this is what you think, and you have to tell her that it's just arousing for you, and you have to tell her that it is only arousing for you because you want her so much, you want her so badly, and this feeling of sharing her makes you crazy. And do never give her the feeling of, I don't care if somebody fucks you, you're just my wife, you're nothing important. Because this something happens as well if men cannot communicate very well. This is not what you think, but this is what your partner feels, that you want to share her because you don't care. And honestly, I would also feel that way if somebody says, hey, somebody else can be in you. I want my man to be jealous. I want him to say, you're mine, nobody else has the right to fuck you, unless he's a cuckold. So she has to understand how a cuckold really thinks and feels, otherwise the situation might end very badly. I hope my video could be of any help, and if you want to talk to me directly, just contact me. You see all the information down in the box, and I'm looking forward to talking to you. Bye guys!